Hello everyone and welcome back to Fallout Wasteland Warfare Settlement Mode playthrough Season 3, and we're up to the halfway point of the season, Episode 6, and as always we're starting with the management of the settlement and whatnot. We ended last time with 399 caps, and almost unanimously you've all agreed that the lookout tower will be purchased for a relatively small 100 caps. So prior to doing anything right now, we're down to 299. The lookout tower is kind of like a double tiered buff in that it will do something if New Hope is attacked. The other buff it gives is that for the rest of the season, for a one-time use, I can opt to ignore the self-imposed rule that happened in the tail end of Season 1, I believe, where at least one of my team needs to stay behind to help protect the settlement. The lookout tower will mean that once per this season, if I need to, or want to, if I think it's a particularly difficult mission, I can ignore that rule and bring an extra body along, which might be helpful. An extra gun, you know. So that is a double tiered reward, and going forward, after this mission, there will be a new option to vote on, because of just the way we've been spending caps. There will be the option, if you choose, to not spend anything. You can choose that the best thing to do would be to bank the caps for a week, go for something more expensive, so that will be an option going forwards in each weekly poll, I mean. So with that, this is the plethora of stuff we have. This is, I swear to you, the correct deck this time. This is the food, so we're just going to quickly add another food to the pile. We're going to add a Nuka-Cola, okay? And that's from our field, our crop field and whatnot. And we can do our explore cards in a second. I want to kind of sort through this. I'm going to sell the Ultrajet. We're not raiders here, we don't do drugs. However, Ultrajet is from a set that hasn't been added to the battle point listings, so I'm just going to have to guesstimate what it's worth. The average price of chems seems to be around 20 caps. That's the equivalent of Cam X and Buff Out and whatnot. So I'm going to sell this for 20 caps and add that to the kitty. Then we have to sort through what we're bringing today. And we have 3 sets of T60 power armor. I guess I'll bring 1 set of power armor. Why not? So we'll bring 1. We'll bring the Hunter's Hunting Rifle. We shall bring the Incendiary Baton. So that's 3 of the 5. We will bring... Let's bring the laser rifle again, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, the laser rifle will do as well. So that's 4. And do we need more armor? Or another laser weapon might be a good idea. Could bring a sledgehammer. We got that last time as well. Let's bring the laser pistol. So we're fighting the sturdier stuff on the table this week are weak to energy ammo. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. And we can store 8. And we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's a problem. I'll sell the Nuka-Cola. I don't know what it's worth. I'll try and remember to tell you its setup. And what else are we going to get rid of? The bottle cap mine. Although the mine might be useful. I can't get rid of the sledgehammer. I don't really want to get rid of anything else. Yeah, it's going to have to be the bottle cap mine. So Nuka-Cola, bottle cap mine. Actually, you know what? I'll go check those values now before we move on to doing the explore cards. Alright, as it turns out, it's pretty convenient and easy to work out. The bottle cap mine and Nuka-Cola are also both worth 20 caps. So in total, with the Ultrajet getting sold as well, it's another 60 caps. So we're starting today, barring any explore card resolves just now, with 359. On that note, draw 2, reroll 1. Ripcon test site. The Bright Brotherhood seemed odd at first, but your talk with the ghoul gives you confidence that anyone can follow their destiny. Oh, these are the rocket ship people. Next battle, you can choose to set up your models fully before your opponent, well, it's not really apt to AI, and gain 1 super armor for each model that has no super armor already. That seems really good. I'll do that. Yeah, that seems, I'll give everyone 1 super armor. That's everybody except Dogmeat and the Soul Survivor who have it anyway. And let's cut a few more times. This one. Glowing 1 gauntlet. Several glowing 1s sleep in the wrecked building. On the floor between them is some kind of weapon. Feeling quick? Either ignore it and go around, or sprint through and grab the weapon. Oh, we could draw 1 weapon if we test agility. The agility on this Soul Survivor, who is fully healed, I forgot to mention that. He and Dogmeat are back, and they can come with us on the mission. Let me just double check. I got his card here. He's only agility 5. And the downside is he would... Well, he still gets the weapon either way, actually. You know, I'll risk it. Agility 5? What's the worst that could happen? Ha! Okay, he failed. So he's starting the mission we're doing today with 1 rad damage, but I can draw 1 weapon. So I have the Wasteland deck here. I've actually populated the Wasteland deck with a few more cards now because I hadn't included any of the New Vegas stuff, and I have now. So there's quite a few more things. You'll notice the deck's a lot thicker. So we just draw until we find a weapon. I'll shuffle real quick, and we'll just draw until we get a weapon. Okay, we got a weapon. So we'll bring that along with us on the next mission and then decide whether or not we're keeping it afterward. So we're just going to add it to the pile of what's coming with us. I know that's technically not how you resolve that because it's an Explore card, but let's just do that for fun. So one last thing to cover before we hear what we're doing today, and that's who we're actually bringing. This is what I've decided on. We're bringing the Free Tech, we're bringing Pennyworth, the Settler, and Dogmeat, the Soul Survivor, back in action finally, because we did miss them last time, and John. And in terms of the gear that I'm bringing that will change from what they're usually equipped with, I'm actually giving John the T60 armor this time. So he's going to be represented by the T60 armor this time. It's related to what we need to do. I think he needs to have that armor to protect him. And I think he's fine with his 44 because he's so good with it. The Hunter's Hunting Rifle will go to the Settler, obviously, because one of these days she'll land all her shots. And the shotgun we found, I mean the Free Tech's already equipped with that. He will be given a laser pistol to use, so he has that. And the Incendiary Baton as well. And then the combat shotgun and the laser rifle, they'll go to the Soul Survivor, but he's mostly just going to use the laser rifle, to be honest. I guess we could give the combat shotgun to John, so he has a real close range option. Yeah, no pop. Yeah. So John will have the combat shotgun, the laser rifle will go to the Soul Survivor. And with that, you will notice there's a little deck here of individual item cards that is related to the mission we're doing today. So first of all, let's hear what we're doing, and then I'll get them set up, and we'll talk through what that means. Quest 6, an answer to a question. A win will result in 200 caps, a loss will result in 120 caps. Something strange has been going on and it's becoming too dangerous to ignore. Creatures everywhere are acting oddly. They often act far more violent or focused than they should be. Has something riled them up? It isn't natural, and New Hope wants some answers. The only crazy inventor they know of is the Mechanist, but with no idea where their lair is, their only hope is to try and contact them via an open old broadcast station nearby. So you've just heard what we're doing today, and it seems simple enough, and the mission itself is pretty simple. We're not going to have a must kill all enemies or anything like that. It is the simple task of getting to the building over here, passing a lockpick check on the door here, which will teleport you onto the roof, and then doing a check on the computer there to send the signal within 5 turns. Killing the enemies is beneficial, obviously, because that means they won't get in the way or tie you up in close combat, but not necessarily required. And that is important because we're obviously starting down here by the green-red layout here. Everybody has 1 super armor because of that Explore card we resolved. And enemies wise, we have a turret who will not target Protectrons, of which there is 2, 1 there and 1 over there, but will target wildlife just as much as it will target us. It has 3 reactions per turn. It can be destroyed, of course. Wildlife wise, there's some radroaches there, there's some radroaches here, there's a mole rat up there, there's a mole rat down here, and a mole rat over there. So it's pretty simple. This is kind of like the mid-season break. It's just a case of getting in there, but this is in relation to the special Wasteland deck for this particular quest. Every drop on the map, or every item that is searchable, so there's 1 there, 1 there, 1 at the very top there, 1 there, 2 over here, and I think that's it. Yeah, every single one of them is a guaranteed item. 2 of them also are a danger as well as an item, but the rest are items. And the item deck for this mission alone, every single possible result is just a cap value item. So it's an item that when you pick it up it just says, hey, you found this much caps, essentially, ranging from anywhere from I think 15 to 80 caps. So this is a good chance to earn some money if I'm willing to take some detours and pick up those items, which obviously I am, because I want us to have as much caps as possible to buy upgrades. So although I am going to try and push on with maybe John, which is why I gave him the power armor, and maybe the Free Tech, to just try and get them to the building ASAP, everyone else is going to be trying to take out the creatures, take out the Protectrons, and grab as much cap value loot as possible. So I believe that's covered everything. Let's get started. Actually, who has first activation? I've got 6. That's 2, 4, 6, 7. Wow, for once I get to go first. That's amazing. So my first activation of the game was John in his T60 per armor, and he stomped forwards twice. As I said, I'm just going to try and charge him in there basically. He did not trigger a reaction from the turret. This is just an MK1 turret, I forgot to mention that. I think last time we had a turret in the field it was an MK3. So they only have an awareness range of green, even though their maximum range is double green. So cannot do a prepare to fire at John. It does might mean, depending on which AI activates first, like if this Red Roach Swarm activates, it will shoot it. But there's no guarantee, obviously. I did forget to mention, almost, in fact, literally every enemy on the table except the turret, until they are threatened or can see an enemy, will just wander randomly. So it was the Red Roach Swarm over by the communication building we're trying to break into to contact the nutter known as the Mechanist that activated first. First random move, kind of walked it into the ammunition cache there, and that did not trigger a reaction even though the turret's had 360 vision and it was within green. Because of the angle, these raised parts are blocking the line of sight. It then kind of wandered away to the edge of the table. I guess it's decided to take the day off, and by that point, when it finished that move, it was outside of range green, so no reaction to that either. I guess it's guarding that item, if nothing else, but yeah, he's decided to cash out early today, I think. It was a little awkward getting the yellow movement ruler in there, but I decided to activate the Settler first out of everyone else, move her up yellow, which lets her see the mole rat in the crater over here now. The crater is slightly, obviously he's in the inner bit and then the outer bit is raised, so he is going to have cover from the shot, long range with the Hunter's Hunting Rifle, meaning that extra black die is thrown in because she is shooting at a creature. And let's see how... I see. She needs to get her eyes checked for cataracts, I think. The mole rat down here activated, decided to kind of just wander down to the south of the table. Honestly, he's hiding in the corner over there. Now he is still a threat because mole rats don't need line of sight to initiate a charge. They, if you played one of the games, they burrow under the ground and pop up and bite your ankles. So he is still a threat. He randomized, and again I'm just using an old 40k die to randomize direction because it's a lot easier than trying to flip the token that the game comes with. But this mole rat will not be random because it's been shot at, so he will be aggressive when he does decide to activate. So next I decided to go with Pennyworth, moved him up red, and I'm going to take a shot at the Rad Roaches that have not activated yet. He has line of sight on them over there. I forgot to mention what he's equipped with this time during setup. He has the Mr. Handy Flamer and Mr. Handy Buzzsaw as always. Brought along the laser again just because Protectrons, they're super tanky in general, but slightly weaker to energy than they are to kinetic. So that will hopefully help with them. I mean, they're not very threatening with their damage output, but they can take hits thanks to how much armor they have. That's why it's good that No Hope has one of them protecting them now. Anyway, he hits on a 7. Range blue with that Mr. Handy Laser on the Rad Roach Swarm. It is a hit with an armor break. I don't think they have armor, honestly. No, they do. They had one, but that's gone now. So they just take 2 damage, which is good, because if they get the chance to attack, and what other enemy type is it? They get multiple attacks based on how many of the swarm are still alive, which is like half rounding down. But that is half their health right there, so they're much less threatening. Next activation for the AI was the Rad Roach Swarm that just got hit. Kind of forgot they didn't burrow to attack. So they activated, they had been attacked, so they're not moving randomly, but they can't see John. So their targeting priority is, first of all, whoever has the lowest maximum health, or then the lowest luck stat, weirdly. Not quite sure why that is, that's the way it is. So when they moved out with a yellow move, it put Pennyworth and the Settler in their charge threat range, but the Settler has lower maximum HP, so the Red Roach Swarm has gone after her. So I was about to take a turn with Dogmeat going after that Red Roach Swarm just to hopefully finish it off with a charge. I totally forgot though, after the first move that Red Roach Swarm made, a reaction shot would happen from the turret. Its subsequent charge wouldn't because it would be out of range. It's only down to a 2 though, with just a yellow die thrown in, just seeing if it matters. It doesn't, that's okay, so that means we can go on with what it was doing. So we might as well just do that live. Dogmeat's doing kind of like a long curved charge just to make use of his blue charge radius, coming in at the Red Roach Swarm there. So we need our dog bite special, which is yellow, green, blue, extra green, outnumber bonus, and we'll take a black die just to try and guarantee this. As I dropped the blue die already. And it is unfortunately a fail, but with a quick action. The quick action, it's not really going to matter, is it? No, that is unfortunate. We're going to have the Soul Survivor come in there and show them how it's done. One of the 2 Protectrons activated for the AI, and just a reminder, the turret gun is not shooting them because they're all wired into the same system, so it sees the Protectrons as friendly. He did go just kind of for a wonder though, down this way first and then that way second, so he's just kind of walking into the wall over here. I guess his programming is malfunctioning a little bit. which is to our advantage. Oh, and as a reminder for Protectron's AI matrix, if they haven't been attacked, they move randomly unless you roll a nuke, in which case they kind of go nuts and turn aggressive. 2 activations left for me. I went with the Soul Survivor, charged him in, and he is going to show them how this is done. Grognak's Sword, yellow double green. There should be an extra green in here for outnumber bonus. I'm hoping it's not required. He's taking a black die for his charge bonus. The 6 comes down by 4, it hits, it takes out the 1 armor it has. Oh, the bottle cap is what I was looking for, because Grognak's Sword gives him quick action, move and charge, and the bottle cap gives him a quick action. So upon obliterating that roach, he's just going to do a move, but it's going to be half this because it's orange. So it would be to roughly there, just to take a little bit of distance. But that is 1 Radroach Swarm less to deal with, so that's fine. It should have already died to one of those 2, but oh well. The second of the 3 mole rats activated the one in the crater that the settler failed to shoot. They just charge against whoever they can see, or if they can't see, they just charge under the ground at whoever's closest. So activated, moved, and then charged into Pennyworth being the closest threat. Randomly determined a black die for their charge bonus, but thankfully don't get to attack this turn. So now it's over to my final activation for the turn with the free tech, but the AI still has another mole rat and the other Protectron. So simple enough move for the free tech. I'm just moving him up twice to, well, overtake John. I was going to say keep up with him, but he's faster than John. So he's over there, and now I am worried that that mole rat will decide to just charge him because he doesn't need line of sight. I forgot to mention though, but if a mole rat moves randomly, at the end of its activation it burrows underground, so it can't be targeted. I keep forgetting that's a rule. It doesn't matter for the one over there because nobody's going to hit him. It might matter for this one here. So on that note, you know what, let's just roll for his AI live, because it's then, well actually we don't know if it's him or the Protectron. Let's say 1, 2, 3 is him. Oh, okay. And what's his AI? He can't see anyone, so double bottle caps his move. So he is going to move randomly, and after that he's going to disappear for the turn. It doesn't matter, I don't need to do it because no one on my side can activate. Well, I'm guessing this mole rat is slightly confused as well, because right after wandering up that direction, it decided to wander right back to where it was. So a little bit awkward, but the final activation of turn 1 was the other Protectron. It kind of wandered into this destroyed bunker here, and then walked towards the window to look out at things unknown. Which is pretty lucky actually, with where both Protectrons ended up. They're not really in my way. So, oh, and actually, forgot to mention, but the mole rat moving around. Oh, actually, you know what? After his first move, he might have been in range there. Let's roll the skill die, just see if it matters, because it was on a 2. No, it wouldn't have mattered. He's about to get all 3 prepares back anyway, because we're going into a new turn, but yeah, totally forgot about that. So, what event will be taking us into turn 2? Siren. An early warning siren from the Great War buried under the waste starts to blare. Probably a short circuit, the deafening sound makes it hard to concentrate. Models cannot use the prepare action. Models with the prepare action, excluding turrets, cannot use or discard them until the siren has finished. So the only thing it would have affected was the turret, but it doesn't affect it because it's a machine, so aka nothing. So to get the second turn started off 5, I'm going to go with Pennyworth. I'm going to try and get him to cut this mole rat open before he gets a chance to use that black charge die. He's only rolling a yellow die with his Mr. Handy Buzzsaw, but with those upgrades of turning him into a gutsy, it's on 7s, not 6s. That's a hit, breaks its 1 armor, does 2 damage, they have 2 health. Get splatted. I can hear the mole rat death sound in my sleep. So that is gone. Oh, I was expecting that to take both hits. What are we going to do with his other action? Be brave, run at the turret. We need to start... Oh, actually, can he reach that item? There's a thing. Yes, he can. With one of my dog's hairs on it. He's touching the scenery. He has that super armor from the Explorer card. Still haven't been hit yet. And that does mean the turret is going to shoot at him. We'll do the turret first, actually, before we flip that, because we know it's an item because I've curated, but it might be an item plus a danger. So the turret is just a yellow die as well, hitting on 2s because it's a reaction fire. He hits. Ooh. So he breaks one of Pennyworth's armor. He's at 2+1 normally, so he's up to 1+2 because of that bonus one. And he actually fully blocks it, but that does shatter away that bonus point of super armor he had. And was this one of the ones a free one or one with a danger? It was a free one. So, this is a curated deck of cards where everything in it is just a cap value. So let's just cut this a few times and go for this one. Oh, that's still the cheapest in the deck. He's found a desk fan worth 14 caps. So we'll add up everything we get at the end. So I'll just keep a little pile there to see what the final tally of bonus caps is. So one of the mole rats that burrowed underground at the end of the last turn without doing anything aggressive, once again rolled to move randomly. So it did, so it's moving up there, and then its second move will be to move over there. However, both those actions are going to use up the other two reactions from the turret here. So I've just got it at the halfway point here. The first reaction from the turret on 2s. Nope. And then the last reaction for the turn already on 2s. He got him. Well, the mole rats have 1 armor. And he's doing 2 damage with the MK1 turret. Didn't block it, took 2 and died. Thank you, turret. So it moves over here, and then rat-a-tat-tat, splat. It's gone, as are both those preparers. So that's the turret not a threat for the rest of this turn anyway. Oh, I was just double checking there, because when the mole rat would finish its second move, it would burrow underground, as we've discussed already. So would that still trigger the second reaction shot that eventually killed it? And I think the answer is yes, because the wording on the AI down here at the bottom, I don't know if that thing is too reflective. It says after activation, which means it has to have completed that second movement action. At that point it would trigger the reaction. Before that, the next part happens, which says replace the model with a bottle cap symbol until the start of its next activation. So I think it would get its reaction fire. It's very thematic for the turret to just take out a mole rat like that, so we're rolling with it anyway, but I think that is the correct interpretation. So I'm going to do a kind of space filler activation next, because I want some of the AI to activate without them being a threat, because it means I can get closer before they are. So I went with Dogmeat, and I'm having him just move over here and then partially move to the far side of here, just so we can hopefully loot something without a danger symbol. We're about to see. No, I'm going to have to look at the danger symbol. Well, I don't have those handy, so we'll do the item first, because we do get the item. Here is the cap value deck. Let's go for this one. Found a microscope worth 22 caps. Every little counts, honestly. So that goes on the pile until the end. I'll go look at the danger cards. And here is the dreaded danger cards. Let's cut the deck once, twice, 3 times a lady. Here we go. Blown away. Disturbing the unstable store of old gunpowder with the buried reloading bench could cause a huge concussive blast. Place a bottle cap symbol under the model to mark location. Consequence: roll the blue die if it's a bottle. Centered on the marker, all the models in line of sight up to yellow gain stun and resolve a push orange distance away. Okay, hang on. When do we... I guess I'm just going to roll it now, because I never really understand these consequence words. Oh, well, no matter which way you decide that's cocked, it's a bottle cap on 3 out of the 4. So, sure, you know what, we'll do this. All models in line of sight up to yellow away. So that's Dogmeat himself, the free tech, and John. They're all getting stunned, so... Well, for Dogmeat that doesn't matter, because his turn's already happened. But it matters for those two. They're only getting 1 action now. So, Dogmeat, he scatters that way, orange. So it's going to be... just the dog just... Oh, look, I found a microscope, and then just gets exploded up the hill here. And then... Let's do the free tech. He's getting, for some reason, it was a pull in for him. I'll move all these icons between takes. And then, well, it does say blown away, doesn't it? It doesn't say randomize. So you know what? I'll move him further that way. And that means John would go. He'd just get punched into the barrels, but the power armor takes the hit. Okay, that makes more sense. So the Protectron that was exploring the destroyed remains of a bunker there activated, and once again went random. Didn't get a nuke on his AI roll, so he just kind of wandered up there and wandered back down. Now, that does kind of put him in the way, but he's not aggressive yet, so it's not too bad. Although we might make it that the Protectron's turn guaranteed aggressive if someone makes it to the door, just because I feel like the random movement has actually been working too much in my favour so far, which makes a change, but it is making it a little bit too easy for my team to move up. And on the subject of moving up, I'm going to move the free tech. Unfortunately, he only gets 1 action because he was stunned, but I'm moving him up over there. So next turn, he'll double move and he will make it to the door. So we'll see. There is still the Red Roach Swarm to the right there that could be in a more dangerous position in a second once he activates. Or when he activates, because there's still 2 other possibilities. But he can at least make it to the door. And if he opens the door is open. No one else needs to do a check on it. But John's not going to be able to keep up with him, thanks to only having 1 action as well. So the mole rat who's hiding down here activated, randomed his way up there, and then randomed his way out here. So actually, let's mark him, because he burrows under, because he was randomly moving that turn, which means he can't be targeted this turn, so I can't just take a free pot shot at him while he's in the open. I'm doing another easy activation next. John with his one action, sadly, getting rid of that stun to just move up onto the bit here, the hill here. Because he's in power armor, I'm going to say he is not impaired by that small wall at all, so he'll just be able to move over it at normal speed, which will help him catch up with John a little, with the free tech a little bit. So it was the Radroach swarm around the side of the building there that activated, and it got a nuke on its AI behaviour roll, which, much like the Protectrons, means that he goes nuts and wants to eat something. So he came around the corner towards the closest threat within black presence radius, that is the free tech, so he went after him sadly all the way over there. Now, not enough distance to charge, thankfully, but obviously he is now a threat and will have to be dealt with. Of all the things to go crazy though, I'm glad it was a Radroach swarm, not one of the Protectrons, because that still means I have plenty of time to get closer. So I've got the Settler and the Sole Survivor left. It was the latter I went with. I'm having him move up yellow. I'm going to have him then take a shot with that laser rifle we brought along into the turret. I feel like the turret's usefulness is nearing an end as my team approaches the building. Just as much chance of it shooting at me as the creatures that are still on the map. So one shot with the laser rifle. It's a black and a blue hitting on 6s. Hitting on 5s. Well, he did hit. The bottle caps, I think they set on fire. Can turrets set on fire? I don't know. Oh, actually, you can use up 2 bottle caps to set it on fire, or you can use 1 bottle cap to ignore 1 point of armor. I'll do that and just do 2 damage because he only has 1 energy armor. So there we are, 2, and an MK1 turret has 5 health, so it's got 3 left. Well, it had to happen sooner or later. The other Protectron got a nuke as well, so he is now aggressive. He moved down here and he's going to shoot his hand lasers into Pennyworth because that's the closest target and in range. So short range is black plus green, but he's only hitting on 3s, so it's not too bad. 6 comes down to 5, he has missed. So my last activation was the Settler, and in fact it's the last activation of the turn. Didn't get as much done there thanks to a couple of my people having 1 action. I moved her up once and then I was going to take a pot shot at the Protectron that's aggressive now, but there's no items over there, there's no objective over there, so I decided to move her again just because I want to push up this left flank, because that's how we're going to get to the objective. We need to get the objective. It's worth 200 caps to us, amongst other things. And that's where all the items we haven't looted yet are. So, and there's only an aggressive Radroach swarm over there, and the turret I guess next turn. So yeah, I'm moving everyone up the left side. I feel like that's the best bet. If we need be Pennyworth, we can take the hit and kind of tank the Protectron for us. And let's see what's taking us into the 3rd turn. We'll cut the deck here, go back again, and go over this one. Low sun. The weak light drains the contrast from the surrounding area. All investigation checks are at -2. That's not going to be relevant, so that's fine with me. So the mole rat that had burrowed underground last turn popped back up and decided to charge into Pennyworth, being the closest threat, and is going to try and nibble at him. Green die for a charge bonus, randomly decided, hitting on a 3 only. Has a 10, it comes down to a 9, so thankfully it is a miss, but that is still Pennyworth stuck in combat unless he decides to do a breakaway. So I'm going to go with the Settler, and she's going to complete a move there, which unfortunately is going to trigger a reaction from the turret. She's then going to fire at the Radroaches that are aggressive, which will also trigger a reaction from the turret. So let's see if after that move the turret decides to land a hit. That would be just a yellow die, and it's on 2s. Nope, that's fine. I'll just roll for the turret's other shot now. 9, that is not good enough. So now she's taking a shot at close range with the Hunter's Hunting Rifle. Close range, it would be blue, right? Yeah, that's within blue. So it's double yellow with a black thrown in for shooting a creature. And let's see if she lands the hit. She rolled a 10 as well. Oh, would have killed it outright as well. Would have destroyed the armor. Yep, that would have been great. Oh well. Well, it was the aggressive Radroach swarm to activate next for the eye, because of course it was. Initiate a charge into the free tech and is attacking, taking a green die for its charge bonus. It gets attacked twice though, because it's at full health. So the first roll has that extra green die thrown in, and the next one will not. They only hit on 3s, so it's not so bad. 7 with 2 armor breaks, thankfully. Nope. We lose a green die, we do it again. And that is a 6, oops, that was a 6, it comes down to a 4, so that is not good enough. But that is the free tech kind of stuck there, which is annoying. Oh, and of course I was forgetting, after completing that charge move, the turret would fire, hitting on a 4. I don't think I applied the target being in contact at one point already. But this time I will, it goes up to a 4, he does hit. He would be aiming at the Radroaches, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, so 1 and 3 is the Radroach, whoops. And of course he's hitting the free tech, so the free tech gets hit for 2 damage on his 1 armor. Doesn't block any of it and takes 2. That is on... oh wait, no, he had super armor. Forgot about that. Oh, let's see, takes 1. I was also forgetting that the Soul Survivor should have had 1 rad damage on him from the match. It doesn't matter, because he hasn't been attacked, but I am marking that now. So I know we do have other things to worry about, but I wanted to make sure I'm working towards achieving the main objective. So I went with John. He charged forwards in that T60 power armor, 2 moves, and that puts him within line of sight of the door objective. 1 move will get him right next to it. Next turn, he hacks and lockpicks on the same skill, int 8, so very high chance of succeeding. Turret's out of ammo thanks to the settler, and the rad roaches to be fair, so no danger from it shooting at him this turn. We still have a few more activations down here. I'm just hoping that this other Protectron doesn't go nuts. Actually, it's just the 2 Protectrons left, isn't it? So let's just roll for it now. So 1, 2 and 3 will be that one activating, 4, 5 and 6 will be that one. It's the one that's aggressive, so we know what he's doing basically. Actually, he might not go into combat. I'm going to have to see what he prefers to do, because there is an ongoing fight there. Protectrons are simple little robots. They basically just target nearest. That is their only criteria, nearest. So I'm going to have him stay where he is and fire into the combat, because the mole rats are not his friend. So they will potentially also hit him, but that doesn't matter, because the Protectron is just in full protect the area mode. So we're getting 2 attacks into combat, normally hitting on 3s, but up to a 5 because it's combat. And that's, what's with all the 10s? That would have been a really good hit too. So that first shot is a miss. That second shot is a hit. Oh, that was 2 extra damage rolled twice in a row. So he's attacking for 4 damage currently. I really hope he's hitting the mole rat. He would be aiming for Pennyworth, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 and 3 is Pennyworth. Ah, he's hitting Pennyworth. Of course he is. Well, that is 4 damage versus Pennyworth's 2 plus... oh wait, no, he shoots energy, doesn't he? Yeah, he does. It's only 3 armor. Roll high. But not too high. Yeah. He blocked 1, took 3. That's not good. So that is 3 damage to Pennyworth right there. So I'm going to try and free up the free tech by charging Dogmeat into the Radroach swarm. I have been making a mistake, or made a mistake last time. If you have numbers advantage in combat and you want to pull away from combat, the enemy does not get a free attack because they're occupied with the other person attacking them. Forgot that rule. So that might be enough as is, but hey, if you can take out the Radroach swarm with all these dice, black extra die for charge bonus, green die for outnumbered bonus, hitting on 6s. That is a hit. Breaks all its armor. Bottle cap would cancel prepares, but that's not relevant this turn, or in general really. So it's just 2 flat damage. At least that means he's not attacking twice. Doesn't kill him though. He's got 2 health left. So there we go. But that, again, that doesn't mean the free tech is now able to move away. Let's do the roll on camera to see if the other Protectron, who's the last activation for the enemy this turn, goes nuts. On a nuke, he goes nuts. Well, would you believe it? Well, he's just going to shoot into the combat, because everyone's an enemy to him, basically. So, let's just do that on camera. Let's just do it now. So, green plus black die. He's shooting into a very busy combat, so he's hitting on 5s. Doesn't really care who he's hitting. That's a hit for 1 extra damage. So, let's see who he's hitting. He would target Dogmeat for nearest. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, it's hitting the free tech. Ooh, 3 damage versus 1 armor. He blocks 1, takes 2, and lives barely thanks to having some extra health for being a free tech. Ouch. And then the other shot is also a hit. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's hitting Dogmeat, so 2 against his energy armor of 2. Why am I rolling that die? It's this die you roll. He blocks it all. Okay, in fact he had super armor, which will go away now, because he took a hit. The free tech is dangerously close to dying, however. So we're just over to a few of my activations. I went with the Soul Survivor, and he's just moving twice over this mound here, right here. And on camera we're just going to do the free tech's move, because again he can break out of combat. There is also a slide rule in this game, kind of like in combat you slide around, that nobody ever uses, but that is going to get him right to the door with a double move. There's no breakaway attempt because of Dogmeat still being in combat, so thanks to that red speed of his, he can rush right up to the door. Now his chance of picking the lock is only on a 5, unfortunately, but his hacking skill is also 8, so as long as they can get through the door once it's open, it's open. And with that, just that Pennyworth, I'm going to think for a second what I want to do with him. I hope he can take out the mole rat in one hit, but then it's like, do you stand and fight or do you leave? Had a little think, and on the assumption the mole rat goes down in one hit, I think Pennyworth distracting that Protectron is the best bet. That means we only have to deal with one other one, and we can loot the rest of the map, assuming that we can do some skill checks. Will he take out the mole rat though in a hit on a 7? You better believe he might. He has 1 armor though, and he didn't break the 1 armor. He didn't block it, that's 2 damage, the mole rat is down. So that's all the mole rats off the table now. And he has another action, and I think I'm just going to shoot. I'm just going to shoot his Mr. Handy laser, which is a yellow and a green die. Right here. Energy. Oop, almost dropped the yellow die. On a 7 as well. It hits. Breaks 2 of the 3 energy armor the Protectron has. So he has 1 left, which he does block. He blocks that bonus damage. And takes 2. Which I'm just going to have to use these single markers for now. I'll get it updated in a second, but that takes us to the end of the 3rd turn. Alright, let's see what event is coming with us into turn 4 of 5. Runaway Brahmin. A harness-wearing Brahmin hurtles across the battlefield. No owner, but dropping with it is remnants of a cart, dropping a couple of crates. I read that poorly, but you know what I mean. Add 3 items, red, green and blue distance from the battlefield's centre. Okay, so the battlefield centre is approximately there. And one's red distance, one's green distance, one's blue distance. I'll do that at the top of the turn and be back. So as we begin the second last turn, here is where the Brahmin that ran across the battlefield scattered its supplies. I don't know which is which, but one is just a danger, one is nothing, and one is an item. And I am just going to draw from the same curated deck, assuming I can get any of them. Pennyworth is the only one over there, and he's in a little bit of danger, so I'm not sure I will, but it's typical that I've sent everyone over the other flank, and a Brahmin runs by and drops a bunch of stuff over here. Well, I did say that Pennyworth is in danger, and I wasn't joking, because that Protectron is the one who is activating and is going to shoot him twice. Incidentally, I like to imagine that the Brahmin who ran through here was Daisy. Just like Daisy breaks out constantly. Very temperamental Brahmin. Anyway, 2 shots hitting on 3s. That is a hit. It comes down to a hit with 1 extra damage. That's 3 energy damage versus 3 energy armor. He blocks 1 and takes 2, so he's up to 5. So we'll just flip this. 5. Mr. Gutsies have 7 health, 8 health, so he's okay. But unfortunately, Robot Robin gets another shot. The black die fell out, but we'll keep that. Comes down to a 4, which it does hit. What did I say they needed? No, they needed a 3. Sorry, needed a 3. So that misses by 1, thankfully. So because he's in danger of potentially being murdered, I'm going to go with the free tech and have him try and pick the door, even though his chance to do it is not as good as John's. He does it on a 5. Yeah, he did it. So that means he can traverse the building as that action. He pops out here, and then for his other action he is moving to this terminal, which must be hacked to send out the open broadcast message saying, "Hey Mechanist, we need to talk about what's going on here." So that's him done for the turn. He's safe up there more or less. John can now just traverse as if that was just a, flat, essentially. So in one action, with the yellow movement, he's still not going to get to the console. But that's okay. The Red Roach Swarm is going to take some nibbles out of dog meat, but he only gets to attack once per action, thanks to being at half health. So it's just a green die, and it hits on 3s. 8, 7, 6, 5, that is not good enough. That is good enough, unfortunately. And with 1 extra damage. Their base damage is 1 radiation, so 1 radiation plus 1 damage. And Dogmeat's armor, oh, he doesn't protect against radiation, I forgot, it just goes straight through. I forgot Dogmeat's weakness is radiation for some reason. So, there you go, right there. Both those attacks would trigger a reaction from the turret. The free tech picking the lock also technically would have, unfortunately, because that is within green, which is very bad, because if that one hits, he'll die. Almost certainly. So we're rolling for the free tech first. He missed. Oh, thank goodness. So that happened as normal, and then the Red Roach successfully attacked twice. Well, initiated attacks twice. The first hit was not a hit, or rather it was a crit fail. He did hit with the final hit though, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 and 3 is the Red Roach. Of course he hits Dogmeat for 2 damage, versus Dogmeat's physical armor of 2 as well, I believe. Yes. Blocks 1, takes 1. But that's all the turret's reactions used up now. Alright, let's see if we can remove this Red Roach Swarm. We're going to go with Dog Meat, have him do a couple of dog bites on 6s. That is a hit, it breaks its armour, does 2 damage, takes it out. Very nice. Get out of there. So that's all the bugs off the table now, it's just the turret and the 2 Protectrons. On that note, for Dog Meat's other action, he is charging into the Protectron that's about to activate to try and keep him busy. In fact, it would be over to that Protectron now, so we might as well just roll for him using his hand lasers in close combat. So that is a black and a green die. Hitting on crits. Nope, well, hitting on a 1, which is also a crit. Thankfully he missed both times, so now it's just over to my team, and we can do a couple of quick actions, honestly. So yeah, more than enough that he will traverse. So John's going to use both actions to also get in contact with this terminal. They both have skill 8 for hacking, so one of them will surely succeed on 4 attempts on the final turn to give us a proper win, but there's still loot to get. So let's also do the Sole Survivor's turn. He's just going to get into base to base with this and flip it. It is just an item, so let's just draw one of these. Let's go for this one. Got a good feeling about this one that I can't pick up. That must mean it's good. Oh, it is actually! A cap stash for 79 caps. I think that was the most valuable one in there, so that's very nice. So he's done, John's done, Dog Meat's done. The Settler, what do you do with her? I guess I could go after one of the ones the Brahmin dropped, but there's less guarantee that's even anything. No, I'm going to walk her around the wall. So she's going to come here and come round here, and I'm going to have her try and get over there for the final turn. She'll only be able to get one of them, but that's better than nothing. So my last activation for the penultimate turn is a Pennyworth. I'm going to have him shoot, not move. I know there's loot around him, but I think it's more helpful if he takes shots at the turret, because the turret's going to get 3 more reactions in the final turn. Could take out the Settler if she moves, or when she moves I should say, or gets Dog Meat, which would mean that the Protectron is free to do something. So I'm going to have him shoot his Mr. Handy Laser at the turret twice to try and do 3 damage across 2 hits, or maybe 1 hit if we get lucky on 7s. He did hit, he broke 1 armor, it's only got 1 energy armor, so it just goes straight through, 2 damage. Very nice, he has 1 hit left. Let's see if Pennyworth can finish the job. Sadly not. Quick action, he can't really do anything with a quick action, so no. But it does mean, depending on the order I activate in the final turn, we could still take out the turret before it gets a chance to fire back. So it comes down to this. What event is going to carry us into the final turn? A blustery wind. When performing charge, distance is 1 colour shorter. That's probably not going to matter, thankfully. So the final turn of the game is beginning with the blue Protectron over here. He does not cause reactions from the turret, so he's just slapping Dog Meat a couple of times, or attempting to, on 1s. That would be a crit fail. Is that our first crit fail without a quick action of the game? Oh wait, no, the Settler got one turn 1, didn't she, when she fired. And the second hit is not good enough, both miss. Alright, let's have Pennyworth have a heroic moment. He's going to try and take out the turret. If he fails, the turret's going to shoot back. Let's see. He hit, he broke 1 armor, he did 3 damage, so no matter what he rolled on his defense, oh yeah, it destroys his 1 energy armor. The turret explodes. No reaction fire to worry about for the Settler over there, so she can make a run for those items. The Sole Survivor can make a run for that item. He does have another action. I'll go after one of these items that the Brahmin dropped, I guess. It doesn't really matter which he goes after. He's still going to be in range of the other Protectron shooting at him, unfortunately. What did he find? Oh, come on. It's a danger card. I put those away, so I'll be back in a second. Danger time. Let's cut the deck 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. This one. Lever action. Your footstep causes a seesaw-like trap to start flipping over a barrel of radioactive sludge, which will pop open the lid. Either jump back, you gain stun and it moves you orange, or stop the barrel. You know what? You can take the damage because he doesn't take any radiation damage, so it doesn't really matter. Can he even do that skill? Yes, he can, on a 5. He did it anyway. You see the barrel and stop it flipping over. He has cat-like reflexes, I guess. So with the turret gone, this is actually the last enemy activation of the game. is the Protectron down here, and just to do a little bit of bad manners, he's going to try and take out poor Pennyworth over here, who's got 5 damage on him. So 2 shots, needing 3s. It's a hit. It breaks 1 of his energy armor, which means he's down to 2. Doesn't block any of it, takes 2. So that's 5, 6, 7. He had what, 8 health? He's got 1 health left. As long as this misses, or if he fully blocks any damage that gets through. Of course it hit, of course it did. He has to block it. 2 damage versus 3 energy armor. He only blocks 1 and takes 2. You almost lasted the game, buddy. You did well though, you did well. So besides a couple of double yellow movements to handle, what it really comes down to is the Free Tech and John up on the roof here trying to hack that radio tower. They both have a skill of 8. It's not likely that there'll be 4 failed attempts to roll an 8 or under on this die. It's not impossible, unfortunately. So let's go with the Free Tech first, I guess. Let's try it. Oh, I'm not used to the first roll succeeding, honestly. So they successfully send out a broadcast mentioning the weird creatures and asking the Mechanist, wherever they are, to get in touch with the New Hope settlement to get some answers, because that's the only crazy person in the neighbourhood they know about. So the mission is complete at that point. We can still carry on with the end of the turn though. On that note, can the sole survivor, he moves here and then moves, yes, I believe he can. Yeah, he can. He doesn't even need to travel the full, so he's getting to that one. And then the settler though, I don't think she can. She moves there. Nope. No, she's not close enough to count that. Well, it is the crates that it was meant to be. What do you think? Should that count? It might have a danger card on it actually. I forgot again and put the cards away, so let's check. Oh, of course, okay. Well, that's what I deserve. And what about this one? That's just an item. So we'll draw the 2 items on top of everything else that we have so far, which is these 3 things right here. There's, I think, 4 or 5 cards not drawn yet. So we'll draw this one for the sole survivor. A caravan card deck, worth 37. And this one. For the settler, gold plated flip lighter worth 28. But unfortunately, we need to resolve a danger card to end the game on. Alright, let's see what fate befell the settler. Something she deserves, quite frankly. Let's see. Blown away. Wait, we had this exact card. What are the chances of that? Let's try this one instead. Securitron voice. You accidentally kick something in the dirt with discarded voice box of a Securitron. Please obey all weapon laws. Test luck. If you pass, no effect. Otherwise, you cause trigger up to 2 awareness, no line of sight required. And friendly models within yellow must remove prepared. Not relevant, so that's fine. That takes us to the end of the game. So the Settlers of New Hope have managed to pull out a victory today, and hopefully the Mechanist will answer at some point. But in the meantime, we instantly sell the things we picked up that are worth cap value. They're not going to take up storage space. So the desk fan, microscope, cap stash, caravan card deck, gold plate flip lighter, they're all considered sold. We'll cover the total number of caps we've earned in a second. These are the items we're bringing back. Unique ones don't take up space, so we have more than enough space to take back all the stuff we had because we didn't find items. Now this was a special mission in the sense that it's the midway point of the season. There's not going to be another mission where it's nothing but loot worth caps. So keep that in mind. But we did win, so we get 200 caps for that. I believe it was 180 caps this all added up to, and we had 359 when we started this mission. So in total, we have 739 caps. So with that in mind, you can go to the poll that will be up within an hour of this video. Try and get your vote in within the first 48 hours for it to count on what you want to spend on. And not spending is an option. There is 6 episodes left in the season, 5 of which will have votes. This finale will not. So keep that in mind. You might want to save up for something more expensive, but you don't need to. 739 caps is a lot, and you can still afford something with that. There is still hidden upgrades to find as well. So talk amongst yourselves, plan it out. But yeah, keep in mind there is the option of hoarding for another week and maybe buying something more expensive after the next mission, depending what that is. So, actually, you know what? There won't be 5 more chances. There will be 4. I can't explain why yet, but there will be 4. I was forgetting something that I can't go into detail about. On that little hint, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please do continue to show your support. I hope you're enjoying the story as Season 3 reaches the halfway point, and I hope to see you again next Friday for the next little adventure. Until then, thank you again, and ta-ta for now.